So that was my love song. From Colin to Katrina, his lover, and he kills her in the end with his katana. Um, but for the assignment, that was just to kind of show the conflict with killing a loved one, and also like because you still see them as your loved one even though they're a zombie. And the one line that I really was hoping to apply to the assignment was, "How will you hunger for my touch? That's your hypothalamus," because you know you're not. That was him. While he loved her despite what they say, and he was conflicted with whether to cut her head off, he knew that he wasn't really her because she wasn't hungering for his touch, she was hungering for his brain. And he was like, how can you do that without your hypothalamus? Meaning he knows that she's now a zombie and not Katrina. So in the end, she's coming towards him with leg stump standing. Now she's standing and coming after him, and he has to kill her. So he does. And it's really sad. But then he becomes super awesome and becomes like a warrior and kind of saves the town a little. But meanwhile, the government has been, the government's attention has been brought to the situation. And so they send people out to not only gain control of the town, by killing the zombies, but also to obtain the sugar, because of course the government is evil in this musical, and so they want the sugar for their own purposes, to maybe make it as a weapon or something. So I kind of see it as I like kind of like the beginning of Dawn of Dead, those kind of army. But I don't know if I'm thinking of that one story from our short stories. I can't remember what the name of it was, but they're just all about killing and selfish reasons. And like Dawn of the Dead, they just kill everyone. They don't really check to make sure that they're not a zombie or not first, because they're just trying to secure the town, get the sugar, and then get back out. So this would bring me to my third song, the one that I wrote, but then it didn't work out. Like it was not working, because I need a class in writing, for this to work. But I'll explain it to you, that way I tried. But in my head, it was supposed to be, to start out, it's going to be three groups. It's going to be the media, like how they portray it, and then it's going to be Donald, who started it, and like how he's dealing with his whole angsty shock, and then the government, how they deal with the situation. So I was going to start the song out with like a media, like a newscaster type beginning. So it'd be like like news is on, like the 7 o'clock news. I don't know what time the news is on, but and then the newscaster above that, like kind of rhythmically, would be like, an outbreak of mass proportions has occurred, and they would tell what's happening, and like explain the situation. And then they would end by saying, King Donald, like that's where the establishment, like them saying that's where it started. So then when they say King Donald, then Donald will come in all angsty, and he's kind of coming out of his shock and being like, oh my gosh, me, how could I do all this? And just doing this lyrical monologue about how his establishment's gone, how his daughter's dead, how it's all his fault, and people are dying. And it'd be like this really epic, like tenor belt song, which doesn't exist. I couldn't write it. It just was not awesome enough. But then after he's done, then the newscaster would come back in, probably explaining how to kill the zombie, destroy the brains, because that's the part that's desiring the sugar. And once you're done explaining how to kill them, it would go to some kind of march, like for the armies. Like kind of like super like, where he'd kill, and they would start singing about how they're only there to kill and that they don't care about people, and they're just there to get the sugar, and it's going to be this new awesome weapon, and like they're doing their whole thing. And then it, I guess, would go back to the media after they would maybe close the situation, maybe saying about like how it's affected worldwide or countrywide, other people are watching. And then my great idea, which I couldn't get to work, was to combine the three. So the army would be like this bass, like really epic bass, really cruel, dark, like driving the beat, and then the middle scale would be the newscaster saying, repeating what she already said, and then at the very top, belting his tenor, beautiful monologue, would be Donald, until it would just go on this big trio showing the three different worlds, like the three different perspectives, and then it would just end on this huge note, and then Donald would kill himself. No! And it would be awesome! But yeah, that was my third song that I couldn't write. But I tried. I really did. And I will write it one day. And I will. And you guys will know about it. Promise. But then Donald kills himself. And the army ends up... After Colin, like, pretty much almost has the whole town under control because he's, like, the super awesome warrior guy. I kind of see him looking like Sean Penn. And not Sean Penn. Simon Pegg. Why did I say Sean Penn? I kind of see Colin looking like Simon Pegg. And maybe that's because of Shaun of the Dead, but he just, like, is this really dorky, like, chemist guy, and he just somehow becomes super awesome and just puts on, like, aviators and has, like, RPGs on his back, and he just, you know, takes up the whole town. But eventually, after the government secures the sugar, recipe, the vial, whatever, something epic, they leave the town because they've done their mission, and they blow the whole town up, and everyone dies, because I want everyone to die at the end, because I'm dark and sadistic. But there will be like a foreshadowing of the future, because now the government has the sugar and they're gonna do tests on it, and I see some kind of like Wolverine thing happening where they inject the sugar into someone, they break free, and it starts all over again. But that's my zombie musical. I took from a lot of the movies we watched a lot, and movies I've watched on my own too, and a couple of the short stories. Like, I really like the characters, like they came from a lot of the short stories, because we really got in the heads of the main characters in those short stories. But and the Romero zombie is very typical. Philosophical is a little different. I really wish I could have wrote that third song for you guys, but I had a lot more thoughts about the zombies and why I wrote them. I'm just really terrible at recording this now, and as you can tell, it's not scripted. So if you want to know more or would like to give me a better grade, maybe read my artist statement, that'd probably be a little more articulated clearly. But yeah, so thank you for listening. I'm sorry for the cheesiness, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. This has been fun. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Bye!